actively listening, paying attention, absorbing, receiving, that is when new patterns happen. That is when you start to understand yourself. Hey guys, it's Hayden here making another video. Today I'm going to be sharing about listening, the power of listening, and how it can change your life. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the power of listening and how it can change your life. Before I get into that, I want to thank you all for your support and my patrons. And if you're new to my channel and you like my content, consider subscribing and supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I do coaching sessions. You can reach out to me on my Instagram or my email address. Both will be in the description below. So today we're talking about listening and its power and how it can change your life. If you clicked on this video, it's probably because there's something in your life that you want to change and there's something that you're working on. The problem is a lot of us that want to change and want to grow and want to develop sometimes find ourselves stuck in the same thoughts, the same patterns, the same structures, the same situations. And it can be frustrating because we feel like we're doing work, we feel like we're working on stuff, but whatever we do, it seems to not work, it seems to not change. Well, if this sounds like you or you want change in your life, listening may be the missing component. So what makes it so powerful? What makes it so able to change and facilitate change? Listening is a different state than what most people operate in most of their lives. For most of our lives, we're passing through life a little bit passively. We're not necessarily actively engaging. We're not necessarily paying attention to what's happening. And so we kind of get stuck in this autopilot mode where we're not necessarily paying attention to what's happening, but things keep happening to us. This kind of behavior can result in stagnation. It can result in a lack of development, feeling like you're stuck. And so listening is a different component. It's a different aspect. It's a different state of consciousness that allows you to tap into what is going on, allows you to listen to what's going on, and you can actually deal with the issues that are there instead of passively either running away from the situation or ignoring a situation. So what is listening? Because listening is kind of a generic term. It's not necessarily defined. Listening from the way that I'm talking about it is listening not just with your ears, but listening to what's going on around you, listening to your internal voice, listening to the thoughts inside your head. So it's really being engaged with the experience and being receptive and understanding and listening and putting your ego on the side for a little bit. Not trying to think about what you're going to say next, not trying to solve the next problem, not trying to do something, but rather just be there and listen. And this is a very powerful space to be in, because not only are we not projecting our agenda, not only are we not assuming or trying to solve something, we are allowing ourselves to get new information that wouldn't come in normally because of what we are creating, what we are projecting, what we are manifesting in our own heads. And so listening is actually one of the, if not the most powerful tool for self-development, because it is the simple act of moving from looking out and pushing out, and it's the act of moving in and allowing yourself to connect, allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to understand from another perspective, from another person's point of view, understand your own self, your own consciousness. Meditation is a form of listening. There are many different forms of listening. You don't have to sit down 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, like in a seated meditation, in order to gain the benefits of listening. You can do this throughout your day. You can do this while you're drinking your breakfast tea or coffee or whatever you choose. You don't need to be a monk to learn yourself and to understand yourself or to gain insight into yourself and to the world. So how do we listen? How do we get into that state of reception rather than combat or conflict or resistance or passiveness? To go into a state of active listening, what you have to do is put your ego aside. And the way to do this is to listen, is to pay attention to what's going on around you, to pay attention what's going on inside of you. There's many different focus points that you can work on. So if you're working on with another person, you focus on what they're saying, what kind of body language they have, what kind of energy they have. And you don't have to pay attention like specifically to all those things. Just open yourself up and allow yourself to feel and to listen. And don't think about what you're going to say next. Don't think about what you're going to be doing in the future for breakfast or for lunch or whatever time of day it is. Focus on being present with the person and just being there. There's no agenda, there's no ego. It's just being present. And that practice of sitting with yourself in that way, or walking through life in that way, or paying attention to the world in that way, actively listening, paying attention, absorbing, receiving, that is when new patterns happen. That is when you start to understand yourself and you start to be able to dig deeper and understand why you're doing certain things, understand where certain things are coming from. And you don't necessarily have to engage and say, I need to change this, I need to change that. It's just paying attention and becoming aware of what's happening, becoming aware of someone else's perspective, becoming aware that the tree is connected to all of us. So in this way, listening is extremely powerful and it is extremely life-changing if you truly allow yourself to sink into that reception state, sink into that state of no ego, that state of I'm here to learn, I'm here to listen, I'm here to understand. When you're in that space, it's easier to bridge peace across boundaries. It's easier to find peace within yourself. In fact, when I first started shamanism and I had my first lesson with Iggy, the first lesson was listening. He said, of all the things I'm going to teach you, listening precedes them all. Listening was essentially the doorway through which all the experiences that I would have in shamanism start from. In order to connect with the trees, in order to connect with another person, in order to understand myself, I had to be able to listen. If I couldn't listen, I'd be stuck in myself. I'd be stuck in my ego. I'd be stuck in my mind. And I'd be trapped. I'd be stuck. And that's how a lot of us live today. And I think there's a huge call and there's a huge need for us to listen to each other, to oneself, to the world, to the planet. The planet is speaking to us. There's feedback from what we're doing to the planet. And listening isn't always easy. Sometimes we stay in a state of not listening because we don't want to hear the truth. We don't want to see what's there. We don't want to know what the other person's perspective is. And everybody has the right to do that. But just know if you stay in that state of passiveness, that state of non-inquiry, that space of a lack of curiosity, you're selling yourself short. You're not allowing yourself to experience the fullness of life. You're not allowing yourself to expand. And everybody has their journey. Everyone has their path. But know that if you want to grow, if you want to develop, you want to change, you're going to need to listen. And you're going to need to open yourself up and receive. So with that, I hope that message was helpful for you. I hope that it is something you can share with someone else to help them grow and to help them learn and teach them that listening is a powerful tool. So if you liked the video, put comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down there too. And as always, guys, make sure to seek your truth, to take time for yourself, and I'll catch you in my future videos. Bye for now.